Welcome to another edition of Brugler's Draft Board. Here in the BetMGM Casino Studio, Dane, the Senior Bowl right around the corner in good old Mobile. So what are some of the top storylines that you're looking forward to down at Ladd-Peebles Stadium?
Well, it's always about the quarterback, right? And so it's not going to be any different this year. And I'm really excited to see Jordan Love, Utah State, Justin Herbert from Oregon. These two guys are really fighting to be that third quarterback off the board. Could either of them do anything in Mobile that says, okay, this is why I'm a top 10 pick, this is why I belong in the top half of round one, or could it maybe go the other way? And so eager to see these quarterbacks. A lot of talented players are going to be down there in Mobile, but it all starts at the quarterback position.
The draft process, the evaluation officially here, the risers, the fallers. Let's talk about 5 guys from the Senior Bowl that will be participating that Jets fans should keep an eye on, mostly in the mid-rounds. And let's start with UConn's right tackle, Matt Part. Is he a riser, you think, in the process, or a faller, or is he just where he is right now?
I think he could be a riser just because tackles are so in demand. He was born in Jamaica, moved to the United States in 2002, didn't start playing football until he got to high school, and he went to grew up in the Bronx. That's why football wasn't a big thing for him. He was more of a basketball player. He didn't even move to offensive tackle until his senior year. So there's still a lot of development there to do, but his ceiling is pretty high as a football player.
Somebody that Peart may be lining up against, that's Tennessee edge Darrell Taylor. Maybe not the most impressive stats, but where is he as a draft prospect right now?
If we're going to see a pass rusher emerge from this week in the Senior Bowl, I think it's a good chance it could be Taylor, because you look at the raw traits: 6'3", 260 pounds, long arms, terrific athlete. And you mentioned the production. It doesn't necessarily jump off the film or jump off the page like maybe Chase Young, but he finished second in the SEC in both tackles for loss and sacks, both his junior year and then his senior year. So there are times on tape where you just wish you would let it loose. And so I think that's something he could do this week during practice in Mobile, and that could push him into that second round range.
Let's take a look at the outside on offense. Receiver Van Jefferson out of Florida, the son of Jets wide receivers coach Sean Jefferson. So Van Jefferson started at Ole Miss. He transfers to Florida. Would you say he's improved his game since going there, even though the stats are rather similar?
Probably. And, having an NFL position coach for a father, it's pretty unique, and something that Jefferson, he really took advantage of growing up, because he learned the specifics of playing the position at a very young age. It's rare that you talk about a high school player as being polished, but that's Van Jefferson. And that's not only the coaching that he received from his father, but also it drives him, because growing up he was always known as Sean Jefferson's kid, and now he really works to create his own path as a football player. But he owns a master's degree in route running, and that's really what sets him apart. It's what he did at Ole Miss. It's what he's been doing at Florida. He's very quick off the line. He can make those full extension grabs. The speed is average, and he doesn't have the most impressive body type, but when you can create separation in man coverage and give your quarterback that window, that plays at any level. So Van Jefferson is a really intriguing player.
Let's swap sides of the ball now. Probably the best prospect that we're going to talk about, Jeff Gladney out of TCU. You described him as a junkyard dog in one of your articles. How come?
Yeah, that's it. He's a junkyard dog, and I've used that term to describe linemen and linebackers, but it might be a first for the cornerback position, because he just checks boxes for his physicality, his play personality. He works hard to challenge receivers up and down the field, and we saw a guy last year at the Senior Bowl practices do that. Rocky Sin out of Temple. He used the Senior Bowl to show that physicality, that aggressiveness, and it was really a launching pad for him to get into that early portion of the second round. And we could see the same for Gladney, who right now I think is a solid second round pick. But if he goes to Mobile and does what we think he can do, then we're talking about an early second round guy, maybe a late first guy. That physicality, you spot the toughness, you spot that my ball mentality. He'll play through the hands of the receiver, and he also has the speed to match that you want at the cornerback position. So Jeff Gladney, there's a lot of things that teams are going to like, and that could end up getting him into the first round.
Let's wrap things up here at the pivot center. Nick Harris, maybe not the most impressive prospect in terms of center, but how much does it play into an evaluation that he, one, is a senior, and two, has seen so much football in his 4-year career at Washington?
Well, and I think he is the top senior center this year. And it's going to be a really fascinating test case because when you watch him on film, he dominates. But he doesn't have the ideal height, length, body type, just a lot of those measurables that teams are going to look for. So can teams look past that and just realize that this is just a really good player? And so this is a player that's not going to win the weigh-ins in Mobile, but I am eager to see him during practice. Stubborn hands, the grip strength. He's able to anchor at shallow depth. And he's really quick. He's explosive with his movement, so he can reset on the move.
There you have it. The Senior Bowl preview here on Brugler's Draft Board here in the BetMGM Casino Studio. Dane, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next week.
All right, thanks, Ethan.